Okay. Gayasika, everybody, for coming. Welcome to the First Nations Energy and Mining Council, our first, and our partners, our first monthly information session. The team for today is partnership and collaboration. And we're here to create the space for the nations to connect with each other and our partners. And yeah, at this time, I would like to ask Scott Toas Brown from the Haystoch to start with an opening prayer and welcome.
Yes, Crystal. Yo got to us Clunugua Hill, Nugua Gacha Tas Estate, Dugo Quaid, Du Lidina, the Nuhuinu Channel, Go Klalatas Waglisla. My name is Gatwas, and I am Hildoch, a new channel, and I live in Waglisla, more commonly known as Bella Bella. And we'll just start off this morning to pull in some good energy and center ourselves on this hour that we're going to share together. So I'll invite you all just to find a comfortable seat in your chair, maybe lengthening up your spine, dropping your shoulders back. Wherever you are, maybe just noticing your own body and how it feels to just come into this space. An invitation to put one hand on your kukis, your heart, one hand on your stomach, your tuki. And if you'd like, you could close your eyes and join me in a prayer. Gaya sicha ukami. Gaya sicha egi nayus. Thank you, Creator. Thank you for everything. Gaya sicha kanlakwakayo. Thank you for today. Sho golayaksi kan uganayaksi. Ambakas egi mas washtum. Ambakas egi mas gonil. Go before everything we say and everything we do. Help us, guide us. Get us in a umbil. Get us in a walk to school. To all the gills cleanse. Come here, ancestors, family that have gone before, walk with us. Get us in a umbil. Get us in a walk to school. To all the gills cleanse. Get us in a umbil. Get us in a walk to school. To all the gills cleanse. Creator, I ask that the messages of today and the conversation will help to ground each and every one of these individuals and move the good work forward within First Nations communities across this country. Hisquali. Hisquali means so be it. It will be. It feels good. You could open your eyes back up and come back into the space. And I'll pass it back to Crystal. Gaya Sicha.
Gayasika got to us. That was beautiful. Yes, so we'll start off here by going over the agenda, and then I'll do a short, brief introduction to myself and my colleague, Sarah Ozog, and my mentor. The second is Gatwas will be presenting on leveraging partnership for success, Health Tech Climate Action Plan, and heat pump initiative. Then we'll have a question period, and we'll have a quick introduction of our partners, Fortis BC, BC Hydro, and the province of BC. And the last one, I do have a Zoom poll that I'll be pulling up for future meeting topics. So go for that. I thank everybody for coming again. And yeah, so we'll just get started here. My name is Crystal Dixon. My Haystoch name is Dilkla Duduwa, which means shining star. I work for the First Nations Energy and Mining Council as an energy program specialist. And I look forward to connecting with hopefully most of you that would require my assistance to navigate through the programs that our partners have available. I would like to take this time to say thank you to my mentor, Sarah, Sarah Ozog. She is my mentor and my colleague, and she's here with us today. Gayasika Sarah, if you can give yourself a brief introduction, that would be great.
Hi, okay, thanks, Crystal. And yeah, it really is my privilege to be working with Crystal as we bring her up to speed in the area of clean energy and energy efficiency. She's brand new as of October in this area, and you've just been doing a wonderful job, and so excited for this next year. So thanks, Crystal, for working with me.
Okay, Gayasika. Yeah, and later on we will have introduction to our partners. So I think we're just on time here. So if we can have got to us, our first presenter, we will have other presenters in line for future meetings. And she's from the Healthtic Nation and is part of the Healthtic Climate Action Team. Yeah, go ahead, got to us. Welcome.
Gayasika. So, like Crystal said, can you all hear me okay? I just connected my headphones, so Sarah mentioned it was a little bit quiet. I was just wondering on timing, how much time do I have?
We'll have 20 minutes for your presentation and then 10 minutes for questions.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. So I'm just going to screen share here. And I noticed some familiar faces who may have seen part of this presentation, like Seth and Cole. And I'm not sure who else has been to Bella Bella, either for our recent Community Energy Feast, where we celebrated the beginning of the implementation of our Heilsuk Community Energy Plan, or was up in the Yukon at Renewables in Remote Communities. So some people have heard some of this information, but feel free to, for those of you who've seen this and have heard a bit of our story, to just put your hand up if you have any questions, and there's something that or pop in the chat if there's anything that more that you wanted to build on off of that. Go ahead, Gil.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I went to join this online, it took me to a Skype call, and there's 4 other people in the Skype call to join this thing instead of joining it on the Zoom call. So I went back to the original email and found this to be able to join in. Sorry, I'm late. But you've got Scott Crossdale and Bryn Armstrong and Terry Weber and Dallas Imbergson over on the Skype call trying to get in.
Okay, I'll try and help them there. Okay, I'll resend the link out. I apologize, that was my fault in the Outlook. Right, just one. Go ahead, Gato.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is just the beginning of, and also here, I won't be able to see if you have your hand up or anything, so you could just unmute yourself if you have a question. But our Heilsuk Community Energy Plan, and what we named it is Egila Kansanalayoch, means protecting our world. And what we're really doing is we're trying to bring our Heilsuk worldview and our guilas, our laws, back into alignment with the way that we exist in the world. And so it's quite a beautiful process to be a part of. And for those of you who aren't familiar, this is actually where our territory is. We're up on the central coast of what is now referred to as British Columbia. And we're often referred to as Bella Bella. And so we are a fly-in, ferry-in community only, and Crystal is actually my first cousin, and I'm blessed to be a part of this energy work with so many other really powerful Heilsuk people that are creating this story and this lived reality. So this is just a bit of, this is our big house. This is just a little bit to show you that we've been in our place in the world. Science, archaeology is now dated us to 14,000 plus years with the archaeological research that happened on Tricket Island. And we believe that we've been here since the time of creation. And we have evidence of that all over our territory. Within my family, we actually have a story. One of our uncles is actually has a name that means Iceman. That's like from the time of ice. So this whole archaeological evidence aligning back with our ancestral stories. And the Hilshuk Nation, we have a population who lives in our community of 1,600 members. We're the largest community on the Central Coast. We have a hospital, a library. We have the only hospital and library on the Central Coast. We have a school, a college. We have a lot of infrastructure and really exciting things happening within our community. We're the only nation within Canada who is implementing reconciliation outside of treaty. So I'm currently here in one of the 8 new tiny homes where I'm coming to you from, and that's part of our reconciliation dollars, our big house. And so this climate action plan, we're not just trying to create something and do it all on our own, but align with the really good work that's already happening in our community by Heiltistut, the reconciliation team, CUCS, which is a nonprofit organization that does food sovereignty work already. And so this is just a little bit more about Bella Bella, and you could take a read if you want. I'm just gonna have a drink of water. So what we did with our population was we had several focus group meetings with community members, elders, youth to create our vision and our mission. And we also used an online engagement platform because this was all done during COVID, which is called Othello. And this is our team. I'm really proud of our team. We have a Hilfsdag team, so we always say this is Hilfsdag solutions for and by Hilfsdag people. And you might have heard Helsik. Helsik is also correct. It's just the more anglicized way to pronounce our community. And Hilfsdag is actually, it means person, and it means person who speaks and acts correctly. And Heildag means people, often referred to now as Native people, Native person, Heildag. I'm just going to skip over this for timing. And this is a image of inside of our Gyutsi, our big house. Oh, sorry, I just lost this. And it's basically about living in balance with our natural world, our community energy plan. And our foundation of this plan was our language. And our language, it was really beautiful to tie in energy work and language. So being able to name our plan, we are protecting our world. And so the bottom one, the strength that comes from our territories. When we were coming up with what is clean energy, we went to our most fluent speaker left in the community, Marina Humchit, and this was actually what she told us. She gave us a big lesson around what clean energy is, and then it's just pulling on the natural resources within our nation. So sun, hydropower, wind, geothermals, the strength and power that comes from our territories. And one thing I'm particularly proud of in our community energy plan is that we were able to engage 1,000 Heildag people. We have a population of 2,400 registered members, so both on and off reserve. And how we successfully did that was we had Zoom meetings where we delivered turkey dinners door to door for anyone who was willing to attend. We had in-person elder sessions, like you can see photographed here. And we also just piggybacked on existing community events. And we recently won Community of the Year award from Clean Energy BC, not just for Indigenous communities, but for all communities, for the work that we are doing in the clean energy sector. And I'm going to get a little bit more into exactly what that work is in a minute here. One thing that we were able, I'm very proud of, is that how much synergy existed within the creation of our Hilsuch Community Energy Plan. Othello is the online engagement platform that we worked with, and they said that we were the most in sync community that they have ever worked with. That basically this engagement had lower than average conflict, meaning that generally speaking, participants voted in agreement with one another. You can see basically those statistics here, and what that means is that this energy plan will be implemented because our people agree and are in alignment on what we believe clean energy to be and what we believe the future of climate action within our community will look like. And so, like, I've seen some of you here who are our partners, including Crystal, who came up, and you can see Seth in this photograph. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see yourself in this photograph, but we were able to actually feast our community energy plan in our Gogoyos Heildauch, the house of the Heildauch. Here's Crystal on the right, and basically with that recognition that with partnership that we can't do this work alone, that we've created a $19.6 million plan, and that through the Indigenous Off Diesel Initiative we were able to secure 1.6 million towards that work. And through our partnership with EcoTrust Canada, who's also photographed here, we were able to obtain 5 million to bring 95% of our community onto heat pumps. And so our ambitious goal is to be at carbon neutrality within the next 10 years. And we are in the implementation stages of that now. And so the heat pumps, well, I'll get a little bit more into that in here. But you can actually, I'll drop after my presentation here, I'll drop our plan into the chat, and it's on our website, www.helsic with an E, climateaction.ca, and we're offering up this plan to any other First Nations community that needs a framework to actually implement how to create a community energy plan within your own nation, and obviously making it your own. And so here, this is what we were able to come up with as our Hilsuch Energy vision and mission, which was created by the community for the community. So the Hilsuch Nation is practicing clean energy sovereignty and resiliency by utilizing wind, sun, earth, and water. We will create a sustainable future in accordance with our Gwilas, our traditional laws, and our Hilda worldview. Through community guidance and data analysis, the Hilsuch Community Energy Plan outlines a pathway to clean energy sovereignty and resiliency. The Hilsuch Nation will create our own clean energy future. Egilak si Kantanalayoch, protecting our world. I'm just going to do a little time check here on how I'm doing. Okay, still doing pretty good. And so basically our goals are to adapt by creating and implementing a community energy plan with specific policies, targets, and strategies. And a big part of this is because of our energy challenges. So we currently are vulnerable because we're on an aging microgrid based in a place we call Ocean Falls. And so we are powered by hydroelectricity currently, and we have backup diesel generators that can't power the whole village. We also have insufficient homes that consume double the amount of energy as the rest of the province. And what I recently found out, this is the statistics that we found through creating this plan of looking at energy consumption throughout the province, is not only do we consume double the amount of energy per home as the rest of the province, but we actually pay five times the amount for double the energy. And that's because of our remote location and because of the legacy of colonization, of how insufficient our CMHC houses are within Bella Bella. And this is the story of the Heiltsuk Nation, but this isn't unique to the Heiltsuk Nation. I'm sure that if other communities were to look at their vulnerabilities and energy challenges, that this would echo across the nation. And so we also know that our future increased energy demand will be high because our population is growing rapidly, which is so exciting. We are the fastest growing population as Indigenous people in Canada. And within our nation, 25% of our community is under the age of 25. So we need to prepare. And we were also, through the creation of this, we were able to see that we currently have 483 homes in Bella Bella, and that our housing needs means that we need to have 200 more homes to meet just our current housing needs. And housing is tied up into our energy plan so tightly because that will increase human well-being. And we really took that human perspective to tie it together. And one thing that my father would often teach us is that you can't be looking through a broken window and expect to see the world in a good way. And so really trying to cultivate the abundance, bringing that back within the Heiltsuk homelands for the future generations so they can live in balance and exercise Heiltsuk sovereignty. And that's what this plan really is about. It's about decolonization and Heiltsuk sovereignty. And so we want to create equitable access to clean energy that are derived from our own homelands. And we want to also educate our community and have collective ownership around our climate action. And I'm really proud of one of our young people. Her name is Ashford Wilson, and she's 19 years old, and she's recently joined our team. And so really creating those mentorship opportunities so that we're not mentoring each other from a top-down way, but it's really a holistic team that works together with the 7 of us implementing the solutions that were a call to action from our community, and really that this is our community's plan, our community's vision. And so this is what, just a quick high-level overview of what these solutions look like. So our goal is to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 24,000 tons. Again, it will cost us $19.6 million to do this. And you can see here on how much approval there was, consensus, and how little conflict we have in regards to these 10 Heiltsuk climate solutions. So the first one is efficient home heating systems. And that is to switch. We have here 100%, but we also recognize not everybody's going to want a heat pump. And so that means that our homes will no longer be heated by diesel, which is currently the majority of the homes in Bella Bella. And we have 1.6 million here, but that was because towards the plan, we'd already gained that 5 million. So we didn't put that into what we needed to obtain. And that's really exciting. It's changing community members' lives already. This implementation is already happening. We have 154 homes out of our 483 that currently have heat pumps. This summer, we'll be implementing 124 more heat pumps. And our goal, again, is whoever would like a heat pump within the Heiltsuk Nation will have one. And so that is what we're working towards. And so that what it does is it filters the air. And so people who have health ailments, it's really helpful. It also has air conditioning. So people really like that for those hot summer days. And the next thing is renewable diesel. And renewable diesel is very interesting because we are a marine boating community. We're a fishing community and we're on an island. And that's basically switching from the currently dirty diesel, as people call it, to a more sustainable. It's not 100% off of greenhouse gas emissions, but it's a better solution. And one of our grand prize for engaging with us with the Hilshoch Community Energy Plan was an electric motor valued at $22,000. That was part of how we really got people in on this process, was we gave out really awesome prizes. And what we recognize is that, well, number one was our homes, and then our transportation. So that's really big, both vehicles and land. So looking at how do we create solutions for all these different current energy uses within our community. The next is a solar project. And so this is a really exciting implementation. I was actually just in Guilford Island, Guayustums within the Kwakwaka'wakw territory, and they actually have solar panels on their big house, which is the biggest or oldest big house on this coast. It dates back to 1870s. And they have it on their brand new administration building. And so looking to these nations who are doing these solar projects, and that's something we want to be able to do. And so with Guayustums, Guilford Island, they are currently able to, off of those 2 solar panels on that takes over the whole roof, to supply their community for the majority. It was 9 out of the 12 months off solar. And so that's something that we're currently on the research stage of. And retrofitting community homes is really sealing our envelopes on the current homes and finding creative solutions. And each one of these solutions, when I drop that link into the chat, goes into more detail on how we're going to do that. But really, like changing out old windows, like finding ways. We have these EcoFit kits that are being installed in every home that is receiving heat pump. So sealing that envelope. Food sovereignty is a very big one. It was actually the most voted on project. And that comes back down to really, where do our traumas lie? And as Indigenous people, and that legacy of colonization, and how I can only speak for the Hilshoch, but we were a place of abundancy. And how food is such a natural human way of existing in the world. And my Gagam, Margaret Brown, talks about how her grandfather would make sure to always give her a feed of seal grease, and she would dip her herring eggs in it, and it would give her so much joy. And within her lifetime, to switch over to having to shop within the aisles of a Western grocery store and food that her body doesn't always recognize. And so food sovereignty, how do we secure our nation that when climate change is happening, we want to be self-sufficient. We want to make sure that we have enough food within our community to supply our community. And one of the very sad realities of this is that scientists are estimating within the next 20 years that herring will no longer exist because of ocean acidification, and the bones within the herring will actually decimate, and that our salmon are disappearing. We have a fish hatchery here, and we try to bring those numbers up, but one thing we're looking at is on land tilapia farming, and that also a vertical greenhouse to make sure that we have enough protein and vegetation to feed our people as the climate continues to change. Within my lifetime, a few years back, one of our main food harvesting sources is seaweed gust, and it was too hot. There was no gust, and I'd never heard of that. And I asked old people, and they'd never heard of that. So securing our future. And we have a passive house kit. And that's ultimately either a progressive house or a passive house. So passive house, it has like a certain stamp, and to actually be an energy sufficient home. So as I'm sitting up here, we have a new subdivision that has 44 new house lots, and that's in alignment with it was brought here by our reconciliation dollars, which is a whole nother story. But as we put in these new homes, ensuring that they are progressive, that they are energy efficient homes, that we're not continuing to create that colonial legacy, but we're really building beautiful homes and energy efficient homes for our people that they deserve. And capacity development is just a strategy to continue to educate our young people. And I'm really excited for this. And Ashard Wilson is just in the process of creating a climate action youth council within our community. So this is underway. Also, electrification of marine vessels, electrification of marine vehicles and vessels. And so what this is we're going to be starting off by doing a pilot project, and there's been a few marine transportation businesses within our community who volunteered to be our pilots and on this project. And so that's very exciting. And hopefully all of our marinas will be able to either be on all of our boats at the marinas on renewable diesel or electrification. Retrofitting community homes, so it's very similar to community buildings, just sealing that envelope. And community transportation. So one thing that's very exciting is our Heiltsuk Tribal Council has announced that any new vehicle that we buy as a nation will now be electric. And Indigenous Clean Energy announced recently that they will be working with us to bring in 1 electric charging station here to Bella Bella, and our goal is 7. So I'm just going to do another quick time check, and maybe I'll just stop there. So if you go into the plan, you can see like quite a large overview on what this will actually look like. But I'll just stop there because of time and go to questions for the next 7 minutes.
Yeah, I can start off. I have a question here. The Healthsick have had such great feedback on the climate action plan. How did it come about, and did you hire a consultant, and was it a team effort? If so, how many people assisted drafting the plan?
Oh, okay, that's a great question. Gaisika, Crystal. So no, that was one thing that we're particularly proud of, is that we didn't hire a consultant, that this plan was created by our nation for our nation. We did have one outside person. Her name is Erin Stewart, who was part of our team, and she was our mentor from the Indigenous Clean Energy, and it was part of the program that we're part of, Indigenous Off Diesel Initiative. So this plan really was created by our team and our community. And like I showed on the slide, there's 7 of us. And Isla Brown and Michael They worked very hard to keep the pen on this plan, and they're both nation members. And the rest of the team everybody did contribute to the creation of this plan. It really was a team effort.
Beautiful plan. Are there any questions from our participants?
Yeah, this is Holly Johnson calling, or this is Holly Johnson. I have a question. Did you guys create a strategy before implementing your the community energy plan? How did you guys kind of conceptualize it first?
Yeah, so basically what we did was we started off, the conception of it was like having those visioning sessions with our community. And now as we're just rolling into the implementation phase, was we really did engage the community. And now what we're starting to do is moving towards engaging with our entities, such as Helsick Integrated Resource Management Department, our capital program, really people that are already on the ground doing a lot of work within our community to make sure that we're not working in silo, but how do we work with um, the existing leaders within our community is the stage that we're at now. So the framework, if you actually go in and check out the plan, it's pretty extensive and it's 170 something pages long. And yeah, I just encourage you if you wanted to like know a little bit more about it and like actually utilize it within your community, to go and take a look. And after this, I'll drop the link in the chat. Trent?
Non Kilslas Stramores. I'm the Deputy Chief Counselor for Skidegate Band Council. I worked a lot with Helsick in the early stages. I worked with Pamela and Christine, also with Eco Trust Energy, Andrew and them working on implementing it. So you guys learned a lot of the do's and don'ts from our community who implemented this as well. And I'm curious to what your challenges are or were during this implementation, and as well, what is your education, training, and maintenance plan going forward?
Gayasakha. So over the last 2 years, we really, so first I'll start off by saying definitely in regards to the heat pump project that we really did look towards the Haida Nation and what they had done of getting all of their community members onto heat pumps. And so just like our plan that looks at all of our energy use, that we're offering it up to other nations, not to just start at ground zero and really like working with one another, such as how we've worked with the Haida in that regard and have a long existing history of having a peace treaty with the Haida. The totem pole outside of our big house is actually carved by Christian White and shows that alliance that we have with the Haida Nation. And so in regards to challenges around implementation, we did spend the last 2 years creating this plan and actually engaging with the community, and now we're just really in the beginning stages of hitting the ground running into implementation. The heat pump project is a little bit further along because it was simultaneously happening as we were creating the plan. So we haven't come across too many challenges yet because really we are in the beginning stages of implementation. We just had our community feast to begin the implementation in March, at the end of March. And so we're kind of, yeah, so I would definitely be happy to come back another time, like as we continue on with this and speak to those challenges. But really around engagement and the creation of the plan, our major challenge was COVID and getting people together. And we had to be just really creative about ways that we could continue to move the work forward because COVID did put a big wrench into the way the work was going to happen. And that's when we started to work with Othello, which is an online engagement platform. And we put 2 surveys out to the people. And the first survey actually I did it with my gagam, my grandmother, and it took us over almost 3 hours to fill out. And that's because she was like really every question. She like wanted to know more and she was like really thoughtful. But on average, it was taking people about an hour. And so we really learned that was a big challenge. Like people don't have an hour always to give you. So the second survey, we made it 20 minutes to half an hour, depending on where people were at. So really meeting the community where the community is. And in regards to maintenance, that's been one of the biggest things is so we're currently working with Cox Foundation, and they did a survey around food sovereignty in our community, and they have a project called Granny's Kitchen, and they actually give out groceries every week to community members who need a little bit of assistance. And what they talked about as a nonprofit who's been existing in our community for quite a while is that they've done that, they've put in infrastructure, but that really one of their big challenges was that ongoing maintenance, that education, and that not to just put in infrastructure because we have the funds to do it, but really to create that maintenance plan that is in alignment. And so that's one of our current strategies that we're working on right now. When one of the first things we're talking about doing is the solar project and the vertical greenhouse. So we're in the current, we have a job posting out actually right now. If there's anybody here who's interested, or if there are within your networks, I can definitely email it out. It's for our implementation manager. And so basically our team, I'm currently the only full-time employee on our team, and the rest of our team, they do this off the side of their desks. They're quite busy people. 2 of them are counselors. One is our implementation manager for reconciliation. And so really finding another person who this can be their number one thing and not off the side of their desk. And so that's the current stage that we're at. But that's definitely, I really appreciate that question, Trent, because that was a conversation that came up, was maintenance. So guys, hawa for that. Terry?
Yeah, my name is Terry Weber. I'm from Newcross Nation, Clean Energy Director. My question's around heat pumps. Was there a need to upgrade infrastructure when you brought so many heat pumps online?
Yeah, that's a really great question for sure. So we haven't reached our max limit of hydro use from BC Hydro, but we are very close. And we currently have a new language building, elders long-term care facility, and administration building in the works here coming up in Bella Bella. So those will be a big energy draws from our nation. And our infrastructure is aging, and it is a microgrid. So it's not a priority for BC Hydro. We could twin it, and then we would double our amount of energy coming into the community. And it's very interesting. It's Boralex currently owns it, and in the 70s they bought it off of another company for $1 because of the risk that was associated, and they never actually, and now it's valued at $12 million. And they haven't actually upgraded the infrastructure in that whole time. And so one thing is that we're in the conversations, very preliminary, is it was a part of our visioning sessions, was really buying back our energy use and buying our land back and getting our land back. And so that we are in control of when we update our infrastructure. And it's kind of a hard navigation at this point because of the risk associated with it, and that it is quite old, and that we would be pouring a lot of money into it, but that they currently aren't doing that. And so I'm not sure exactly where that will go, but that is also why we're looking at the other solutions of solar, and how do we bring in energy to our community that's not necessarily from BC Hydro, even though we have like the hydro dam, it could create a lot more energy than it currently is. It's quite large, but it's more of a political conversation, I guess, and like the dynamics within the politics of that. And thank you for the question, Terry. I think there are some questions going here on the chat. But Crystal, I just wanted to do a time check with you.
Yeah, maybe just one more question, and then if the other questions we can follow up or connect with Gatuas via email, that'd be good. So next question.
I'm just checking out the chat here.
I have a question, if I can go, pardon my voice. I'm just wondering if you think that implementing that heat pump, first of all, sorry, thank you for that presentation. I've heard a lot about the plan, and it was really great to see some of the details from you. I'm wondering if you think that completing that heat pump installation project in tandem helped to build some of the momentum because there were some tangible changes happening at the same time, or if that was if it was difficult to maintain the messaging with so many different components.
Yeah, that's a really great question. It definitely was helpful because of the mistrust within tribal councils that exist. And I mean, our tribal council is really wonderful. And we work very closely with our hereditary leadership. We have a Heatmoss Council, which is our hereditary chiefs, and a Umox Council, our women of high rank. And they don't work in silo just as elected leaders, but they work with those councils. But sometimes people can bring up things from 30 years ago that this current council has nothing to do with. And that mistrust that can exist there. And one thing that, and often because I was monitoring our social media, and every time I'd share something out, and then people would be like, oh, that's great, but what are you doing? And I was able to say, well, actually, these 154 heat pumps that we've put in is like taking 190 vehicles off of the road per year. And so able to share out like, and just combat that with positivity and good energy, and like showing people that we are doing something and it is making a very big difference to our environment, and it is pulling us back into alignment with our Goilas, and trying to be as transparent as possible. On our website, we have multiple newsletters, we have links to all of the presentations that we do, and I'm currently like constantly updating that website so that when people have questions, I can just like link it. Like if you want to know more about that, it's right here. And like just always making sure that whatever we're doing, we try to be just really transparent, because we are doing hard work, but we're doing hard work. The only reason, like, our team is a phenomenal team, and every time we have a meeting, which is once a week, we'll have our weekly meetings that usually last 2 to 3 hours, and we'll do a checkout, and the questions will be, how are you doing and what can the team do for you? And so sometimes that's just needing space. And the amount of tears that I personally like shed in that checkout, and other members of our team, and really recognizing that to going back in alignment with our Hilchot values is that as a team, we need to do that. And we need to recognize human well-being within our team, and that sometimes that means someone's not going to be there, and they need to prioritize their grandchild, or they need to prioritize their passing relative, and really trying to work outside of what colonial work looks like, and being that change within our team. And we're pretty blessed. There's quite a few members who are trauma informed and who are doing a lot of deep intergenerational work that it trickles into our team, and we're constantly educating each other on how to be in alignment with our Goilas as a team. And so then really putting that out as our message constantly to the community, that we're not doing this for glory. Like, we're doing this so that, like, this is, like I once said, I was like real excited about the award and everything that was happening. And my sister, Isla Brown, she was like, this is the base. Like, this is what every nation should be doing, is securing their future, because climate change is here and climate change is real, and children deserve a future. And this is the bare minimum. And that kind of really, it struck me, and I think it's very true. And that really, that this is the work of our generation. And so I'm really proud to be a part of this team, and Gayasicha for all of the beautiful questions, and for taking the time. Gayasicha Kakawada Sinclair, thank you for listening to me. I'll drop my email on our website in the chat, and feel free to follow up via email if you have any further questions.
Gayasika Gatuas, that was very, very informative and passionate presentation. And I love how you've opened it up to the nations to utilize the process that you've that you've come up with as the Hesto. So Gayasika again. Gayasika, I'm really proud of you guys and the team, and I thank everybody for coming. I know we're coming to a close pretty quick, so I'd just like to take some time here to introduce our partners and thank them for funding this position for me. And I would like to, get to know some of you a little bit more and help navigate through this, all the different programs that are available from the province and from FortisBC and BC Hydro. So I'll turn it over to Amy, and then we'll do a quick round of introductions for the partners. And yeah, welcome, Jessica. No, can't hear you. No. Oh, Seth, go ahead.
Yeah, no, no worries. Yeah, Amy, microphone issues. Hi, everyone. My name is Seth Oldham, and I work with BC Hydro. I'm based here in the traditional unceded and ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. And although I'm based in the Lower Mainland, my job, I work with Indigenous communities throughout BC Hydro's service territory. And I recognize many familiar faces and names on the meeting today, so it's really great. Yeah, my job is to work with communities and organizations to support their demand side management and energy conservation work. And Crystal and I are spending lots of time together and trying to share information on different programs and some of the learning that I've kind of done in my role, and really we're excited that Crystal is like picking up so much information and will be a great asset that can work with you and share information on programs. And yeah, pretty exciting. And that's, I'm not sure who you want to go next, Crystal.
Maybe Carol. Thank you, Seth.
Oh, sure. I'm Carol Suhan with FortisBC. First of all, I just want to say what a fantastic presentation to be that whole energy planning. I don't know, I just think that is where all of these projects need to start, and getting community involvement and elders and youth. And I just, wow, I mean, congratulations to Helsik. And then just from a utility perspective, yes, we do work very closely with BC Hydro. So again, if there are, in terms of the demand side management or the energy efficiency piece, we do have funding support, and would like to be able to help you with that. Again, to improve the quality of housing in terms of the building envelope, air tightness, comfort, health, etc. And yeah, I just want to again say thank you. And if you ever have questions, please give us a shout. And I know Crystal is going to be stick handling a lot of these, so I mean, she might be the conduit to get responses to questions. But we look forward to maybe working with more communities again to make their homes more comfortable, more energy efficient.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Carol. If we can, Amelia, have Amelia introduce herself and her team.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Amelia Bellavo. I'm with the Community Clean Energy Branch in the province of BC in the Ministry of Energy, Mines and Low Carbon Innovation. And so we've been involved supporting Crystal's role, and it's been such a pleasure. Just echoing everything that everyone else has said, learning so much so quickly, and really want to thank Crystal and Sarah and everyone for their work in organizing this session. Gatuwas, your presentation was wonderful. And I'll just mention that our branch is working towards delivering some programs for remote communities in particular who are looking to move away from diesel for electricity generation. And so I know that Crystal will be a great resource and can put anybody with interest in that area in touch with myself and my team. I'll note also my director, Sean Leroy, is on the call and he'll be involved moving forward. Thanks.
just to quickly add to Amelia's good words, let's just say hi to everyone. It's so good to see your faces again. And just remember warm memories of seeing you all, many of you in person at the conference in Whitehorse, and just the quality of the presentations from HealthSec are always so amazing. We're just so inspired by you. So thank you, and look forward to continuing to work with Crystal and others.
Kayasika to our partners, and yeah, Kayasika, thank you for being here and walking beside us here. So next on the agenda is a poll that I have, and what this will form is the topics of the future information sessions. We're hoping to have the monthly, but for July and August, I'll be collecting information from the nation. So expect some emails from me and some online polls to kind of form the discussions for September. And we're hoping to have the next meeting on September 27th to kind of keep in line with kind of the end of the month there. So July and August, I'll be reaching out to the nations to see what their topics that they would like to discuss. So I'll just put up this poll here. This is my first time using it, so bear with me. Okay, so I'll just shoot it out now, and if you could take some time to fill it out. Just launched it right now. So we have the home energy evaluations, home building envelope upgrades, making homes more comfortable, rooftop solar, youth mentorship, increasing participation for youth participation in the clean energy sector, learning to navigate clean energy programs. You've all taken time. I'll just give that a minute. Great. Okay. So we have 41 participants and 38 have participated. I have a minute left here, so I'm just going to end the poll now. Yep. So let's end it here. And okay, Kayasika. It looks like learning to navigate clean energy programs is on the top. So we'll take this poll into consideration and while forming the next session. And take this time just to kind of close and thank everybody and raise my hands to you guys and the presenters and our partners to, you know, taking this time to create this space for us and for our partners to come together. The session is partner and collaboration. It's partnership and collaboration. Kayasika to everybody. And thank you very much for coming. I'm very, very happy with everybody who showed up today. Kayasika.
Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you.
Guys have a lovely day.
Kayasika, Crystal.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I hope it was everything you wanted it to be.
Oh yes, it was. Kayasika.
Thanks,
I'll
guys.
talk to you in a bit.
For
Great.
sure. Good to see you,
Bye now.
Seth.
Yeah, good to
All
see you
right.
too. See you next
Take
time.
care. Nice to see you, Farron.
You too.
It was also really cool to see like all the familiar people.
Oh
Like,
yes.
there was like, and even Rod was on here.